How you guys doing? Alright, so I'm back on. Finally got my powerhouse rig back. And I figure, hey, what the hell? I'll throw up a live stream after devs and everybody can see my overly crowded tank. How you doing, Raven? How you doing, Royd? Figure, what the hey? Let's get on here, chat for a little bit, see Horse Whisperer comes on in about an hour. Oh, it'll get there. Don't you worry. It will get there, sir. I'm more, yeah. It's been weird, to say the least. It's been weird. Yeah, 12:30 a.m. Ovidale. See if we get a few more people on here. I was going to set up my second monitor and I went, no. I don't really like forums. I find they're far too negative for their own good. Yeah, I'll get you a link, Tim. Oh, it might help if I actually had the links. A sec here. Sorry about that. Still coughing and hacking. Can't wait till that stops. Things are looking good, Raven. Tim. There you are. So yeah, sorry about that I'm not overtly active here on the mic, but my voice is still kind of shot. It'll come around. It always does. Link sent, Tim. I'll get that second monitor set up at some point. Yeah, the local ones, because they know they're going to bump into you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the problem with the national ones, it's the same thing as the problem. Like, go on Reddit. You know, say something stupid. See how long it takes to get basically beat down for the next 20 minutes. Well, saying something stupid's cool. It's a different game when you sit down and you plow a newbie for the sake of doing it. You know, oh, what's your parameters? And blah, blah, blah. You know, like, no, that's not helpful. You know, if the problem leads to something like that, sure. But I just find a lot of the times I'll ask that question and it's like, what I asked had nothing to do with parameters causing a problem. So I just stay away from it. People just get on my nerves. It'd be like you coming on here, Eddie, or any newbie, and me just literally having to tell you to go fuck yourself, you know, from the get-go kind of deal, right? Hey, Tim.
Hey, what's up, Craig?
Hey, oh, I gotta move you through here, bud. Just a second. I want him through here. There we go. Say something. Okay, and I gotta fix you here. There we go. And
all right.
Now everybody can hear Tim. So good.
I hope so.
Yeah, they should be able to now.
Right.
Hey, good to see me. Yes, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. You ever going to get in here and chat with us or what? Positive pyramid power. Programming, sir, not power. No, I just got my rig back from my buddy I lent it to and kind of made a hissy fit about it. Like, I can't let you have it for a long time. I told you 2 weeks. It's been almost 3. Yeah, good, loud and clear. It's excellent to hear. Raven hanging in late night from the old UK. That's awesome. Glad to see everybody popping in. Glad I got my rig back up and running so everybody can enjoy it. Don't forget the thumbs up. I always enjoy seeing that.
Hey, what's happened to Cruz? I haven't heard.
His kids are visiting. So from his first relationship. So as far as I know, anyway, that's, and it's like I told him, well, you should spend time with them. You've got them up there. Why would you spend hours talking to us? So on and so forth, right? Hey, what's up, Rip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
It's definitely been it's been a tumultuous few weeks for me. So.
I guess so. I guess it has. So what's up? You still waiting on a new place?
Yeah, kind of. We got a few in mind that we're looking at, and we're pretty pleased with the way it worked out. Like, it's sad to. It's going good. Rip, it's going good. It's kind of a sin looking at my empty 120 and the sump that I've got to clean out that I keep putting off after draining it and going, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
It's a lot of cleaning, right? Sump's a dirty thing, right?
Yep. Yep. Very true.
Yeah, it's but it's been interesting. A lot of things like the dyno that was going on in my tank decided it was going to rip at it, and it decided to really hurt that plate. So I'm kind of hoping I can recover them, but I mean, there's no guarantees when it comes to coral, right?
Yeah. No. Nope.
Yeah, move to the Philippines. I don't know. My wife could. She works for Sitel. Sitel is a major center there. Oh, Cali. Yeah, I've heard lots of horror stories about California and earthquakes with fish tanks. Yeah. I know one guy swore that his fish could tell it was coming. And I don't disprove it, because fish can sense things we can't, so. Yeah. Yeah, you digging me Darwins in the little tank. They're a whole lot calmer. I'll tell you, active feeders too, right? Yeah, leave California. Yeah. No, it's been interesting. We saw a few places that are decent. I still couldn't have had the 120. It's far too heavy. But we can't part with it. And the whole goal this year is to get a house, so we're keeping it. I'll ditch the equipment, that's just not going to get used.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? I sold my lights because I'm going to replace them anyway, and whether I go better or if I go with the same thing, I'd just rather get new ones. I gave the guy a good deal. I didn't rip him off. I gave him a pretty good deal. That's what I was told to do, is to let everybody know when I am actually on here. Bear with me here, folks. I'm going to share to Facebook. Share in a group. I'm going to share to the 3 local groups. Or that I just realized that was something I was not doing, and didn't realize it. Really, you don't think about sharing it to your locals, and a lot of people, it's always good for a chuckle. But that being said, sharing a group.
I have never been to your Facebook page, Craig.
No? Well, you should, man. You should. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't matter to me.
No, it's not you in particular. It's just Facebook in general. I just don't spend much time there.
Facebook is a load of garbage.
Yeah.
I have seen more crap on Facebook. My favorite's the one. It was Neil Armstrong's boots. Right, they're flat. Look at the footprint. Well, that's not Neil's footprint. That's Buzz Aldrin. Here's a picture of Buzz Aldrin's suit. Oh my God! Look, the tread pattern matches. Shut up. You guys ever heard of Snopes.com? Go to Snopes and check before you go mouthing the hell off. You retarded person.
I got a call from Mark Levinson yesterday.
Mark, Mr. Saltwater Tank called you. And
no,
what?
Melev's
Oh, Melev's Reef. Sorry, right. Mark Levinson, not Mark Callahan. So what was Melev? What was Mark talking to you about?
I'm trying to get him to make me a simple acrylic cover for my overflow. He's got one. He advertises on his website, but it's not the same shape. It's pretty much just a rectangle, and it just needed a dark acrylic cover for it. But he's been in Vegas, Phoenix, and he keeps telling me he's going to send me an invoice for it. And it's not just a regular product that you can purchase. It's got you got to give us. He's got to give you the estimate on it and everything, and send an invoice. So I've been waiting for him to give me an invoice, and we finally got to. He finally gave me a call and said, "Okay, you sent me like 5 times. You need an invoice. I'm sending it to you."
Yeah. Well, he's busy. Hey, Tim, what's going on there, Eddie?
Oh, not much.
Not much, eh? Yeah, I saw your post about buying an RODI unit, and I'm thinking, do you want to get beat? Is that what you're trying to do? Well, it's funny. The wife said, "You gonna buy anything for the tank before we go?" And I'm like, no. I said, "Tank's in good shape right now." I said, I've got a couple of things I got to pick up, but that's more the plumbing side, because I got that gate valve I got from you there, Tim, and I want to get that on there, and I'm gonna put one on for the emergency, but not a gate valve, just a true union, so I can move it or do what I got to do with it much easier, right? So wife was having a good laugh at that. She goes, "So you're going to be cutting at that?" She goes, "You're going to do it after you pull the fish." I went, "Oh, duh." But yeah. So Raven's here. Who we got? Yeah, well, my usual motley crew is here, which is always cool. I've just been trying to get mood's a terrible thing, and for those that don't know, I do suffer from depression, anxiety problems. I always did. It's got to be a musician thing. A lot of us do. But
those of us who are creative tend to be a little on the emotional side.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So you tend to try and explain to people, like, I'm just not in the mood, man. You want me to get on here and try to be a happy and blah, 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 blah. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to get on. Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah. So, I like to kind of bring a quality product to it when I'm doing it. And I do understand people love to get on here. So it was just rough. And plus, think about, those that don't know how many issues I've had in the last, 30 days. So, all of a sudden it's like, crap, well, I got to deal with this before I can deal with, the public at large.
Sure.
It's just one of those things, right?
There haven't been very many live streams at all lately, the last couple of weeks.
No, and we were talking about it just a bit. And Rip, did you ever watch Fisher Hex's video? No. That's all right.
Seemed like after he did that video,
a lot of people dropped off. Yeah, a lot of people, and it's really
I haven't seen Roscoe's.
Yeah, I haven't seen Brosco. I haven't seen. It's not like I keep track. I mean, there'd be that crew of people that we know about, and I haven't seen any of them streaming. Tina's done a little. Which is great, and she got her seahorses today, so that was fantastic to see, and I can't wait to talk to her tonight in, Seahorse Whisperer stream there in about 45 minutes. So I'm not even streaming that long, but I thought I'd get on, let everybody know I should be back. I'm going to try and figure out. I can't figure out a good time, because I want to try to catch the UK, and I'm thinking it's probably going to have to be about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I guess for you, Tim, I'm right now 8:43. So that's what for you, 4:43 or 5?
I'm 8:43. Yeah.
5, right. So you're 3 hours back from me. That's right. So that would kind of work. That'd be about noon your time. It's not too early for you, and it's not too late for the ones on the European side. And it's also been. I dealt with some issues. I had to smack my tank with ChemiClean. Unfortunately, I just finally bowed down and said, "The hell with this. I just don't have time to deal with it traditionally and wait." Because I got a lot of fish in there now. I mean, look at the size of those clowns comparatively to the white ones. They're not going to suffer that crap. And everybody's doing okay. I'll be honest. Sulu, my firefish is in there. He's okay. The 2 orange striped cardinals aren't being bastards to the Bengi cardinal. So far, fingers. Enjoy it.
When I've used ChemiClean, I never have any trouble with it affecting the corals or the fish or anything. I never have. I mean, it gives you a big, like I said a couple of times, you have a couple of days where you got to turn the skimmer off because it's going to drive your skimmer nuts. And then when it's over, you got to, after a couple of days, you have to do a big water change. But, and then it takes a few days for everything to kind of settle down. Throw some carbon in there to get the rest of it out, but I don't, I never have any ill effects as far as affecting the livestock, whether it's coral or fish in any way with that. I'm looking at the tank right now. It's looking like the best it has. I mean, and all that stuff has been gone I did mine a couple of weeks ago, but all that stuff's been gone. I got some diatoms, but other than that, I don't have any.
Well, diatoms we know how to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know how to deal with that stuff. So I couldn't decide if I was getting dinoflagettes or if I was getting cyano. And I decided, I'm just going to whap the tank and see what happens. And everything went away. And the bubble algae's there. That's fine. And I'll deal with it. But, it's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I jumped in. I don't want to type. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you fine. What's going on? Rip.
What's up?
Can't hear you, Rip.
You can't hear him? What do you mean you can't hear him?
You can hear me.
I hear.
You can be that guy I pulled up today. Do you know if that 2-bedroom's still available? And then one guy's like, I think it is. And one goes, no, it isn't. And he big smile and says, yep, not moving in here. Don't like you, buddy. I'm done. I'd punch you in the mouth. You're counting on that voice in my head to go, if you hit him, it's counterproductive.
Oh, you mean that voice I stopped listening to a long time ago?
The problem is I have to listen to that voice in the back of my head because it's more or less, turning into oncoming traffic is counterproductive.
Craig, you have voices in your head? You have voices in your head, buddy?
Oh, I do, man. There's days I sit there and it's like, you got to shit.
We have places for people
like
that.
They don't want me. They don't want me.
Just messing, bud. Just
I'd be the guy chasing the nurses with a pair of ice tongs screaming piranha. I've done it once, I'll do it again. I just don't care. It's like I'll just see people. It's like I laugh. I was watching, I got on a trip about watching active self-protection stuff in the States. And, it's really funny. Every time this guy talks about, here we have an incident out of Brazil. And my favorite, somebody wrote underneath, and here we have an incident out of Switzerland. Just kidding, Brazil. Like it's always Brazil with these home invasions and attacks, and it's off-duty Brazilian police officers, and I'm like, they got different laws, guys. Really drastically different.
I do like watching those things, and I'm thinking, okay, a house invasion, or for me, would be no problem. But for somebody else who doesn't, who's not a gun nut like I am, get yourself a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
I saw the rifle. I saw the rifle leaning in back there last time. There's a rifle leaning up. You had the butt on the ground and the barrel up, pointed up. Yeah, in that corner. There it is. I saw it there last night. What the fuck?
It's a 20 gauge shotgun.
He's got a rifle over there. What the hell is going on?
You know, and not to make light of that, but there was one, and the kid's a hero. He stopped an active shooter on a campus in Pennsylvania. But what was, I couldn't stop laughing. And it just shows you how useless a 410 shotgun can be. He shot this poor girl, literally 15 feet, and upper body. I'm a firearm guy. I understand that, and I'm looking and I'm went, huh. You know, I've seen a 12 gauge rip a guy apart, so to speak. You know what I mean? But I've never seen somebody get shot with a shotgun. And I'm like, what did he shoot her with? Rock salt? You know, like I just couldn't get it in my head. Like, how did she not go down? And I mean, she just sort of stopped and then stuttered the other way. And I'm like, wow, you brought the wrong weapon with you. You know?
Well, thankfully, you brought the wrong weapon.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, thank God for her. You know, like, because I'll tell you, if that had been...
Shooting a gun is not an automatic kill. You have to know what you're doing. With
no, exactly, right? But I'm talking...
If you don't have any training at all, it's like...
Well, there are a couple of weapons that would be an automatic kill. The Barrett 50 cal.
Well, yeah, that's a totally different... TAC 50s. When we're talking about... Somebody said to me, they go, if you got shot with a 50 caliber at point blank, what would happen? And I'm like, you'd turn into a fine mist?
Yeah.
Right? I said, depending on the distance. I said, and even then, I can tell you, buddy, I said, you don't want to see... I said, considering each round's, what, $125?
Yeah.
You know, like for a full metal jacket. Like yeah, go ahead.
It's like a hammer instead of a fly swatter.
Yeah, it's not even... They're not even comparable things. Like, it was... Somebody said, well, you know, what's amazing about it? I said, here's what I want you to do. I said, have somebody point an empty shotgun, 410 at you. I said, that's a standard gauge weapon. And they're like, yeah. Now, tell them to go click. I said, and think about it. Would you want to be 15, 16 feet away from that? And they're like, I said, and he was aiming for her head. He missed, thankfully. I said, but he shot her literally up her chest. And I'm watching it. And like I said, it was just one of those, was she wearing a lot of jewelry up front? You know, was there something?
Her arm must have been, very good. Extra padded.
Yeah, something. You know, and thankfully that's the case. She literally, yes, she was injured, but it wasn't life-threatening. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there going, wow. You know, like, and everyone's like, well. I said, and the other amazing part is that kid security guard for the campus who tackled him. And the guy had a knife too. And he just went right at him. And I'm like, there you go. That's, he to his credit. You know what I mean? And he did a few things I wouldn't have done because literally I wouldn't have let that guy alone at any moment. But thankfully, that's the way it went. He got the gun away from him, so he couldn't reload. And then he went back and took the knife away from the guy. And I'm just like, awesome. Good for you. And this is, I guess, maybe it's a year and a half old. It was out of Pennsylvania, I think. And I'm like, And we had a guy running around here the other day, and I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, did he have a 22? And he's like, yeah, the 22, didn't he? Right? I said, that's a nasty weapon. And everyone's like, what do you mean? No, 22s are nasty business, man. You can get shot in the head and have it go right around your skull and come out the back and not kill you, but it's going to wreck the rest of your life. You're going to feel it. Stuff like that.
He got shot by a 22 pistol, and he got shot once, and he coded 3 times on the table.
Yep. It all depends on...
It just bounced around inside.
Bounced around inside you. Yeah, exactly. It's a crazy thing, right? But anyway, we're talking about fish. Screw weapons.
Yeah, with fish.
Yeah, like I said to a buddy of mine.
So what kind of shotgun would I use?
Yeah. Well, you can't even do it. Mythbusters proved it. Go ahead, Rip. What was that?
I was just messing around. I just said we're talking about shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, kind of. Oh my God! Listen, guys. I went to we'll go fish. I went to one of the local fish stores here, and they decided they're going to put up a tank. And I go in. They got 4 Darwins in there, and they're little. They're the size of my thumbnail, and I have my cute factor in on it because they're clowns. And some snails in that. And the algae bloom in this tank is biblical. Right? And I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, that's what I'm like. I'm just speechless. It's like, how's this even acceptable to you guys? I said, if this was going on over here in the freshwater, would you be okay with that? And Marie come over, and she goes, well, how do I fix it? And I'm like, I can give you a short-term fix. I said, but you got to get on this. I said, you need to get the water changes right. I said, you're using tap water, aren't you? Yeah. I'm like, well, problem number one, you're using tap water. I said, two, you could kind of get around that a bit. I said, here's the issue you have. You're going to have to use hydrogen peroxide. I normally don't want to say that to anybody who has no experience with it, but in this case, to kill that off, you're going to need to do that, and you're going to need to dose. What are we going to have to dose? I said, you're going to have to carbon dose in some way, shape, or form. I said, where you guys are a public store, it's going to have to be vinegar. I said, and that leads to other issues, so before you even get started, why don't you guys get in here and start talking in the streams and start learning how to deal with this? And I said, because I can look at Travis, and if he said to me, well, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to point at his tank and go, obviously, you don't.
Tina, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, can't hear you, Tina.
Yep, just walking through the house. Hello.
Hey, you're all excited. Got your fish, you got your seahorse babies.
I do.
Are they hitching yet? I didn't notice them hitching, but did they finally?
They're hitching all over the place.
All
Hang on,
over.
let's see
There
if
we go.
My phone will turn around for me, and then if not, then I'll have to leave and come back. Let's see.
Nope, we got you. There we go.
All right. Okay, this is Thelma.
Did you name them Thelma and Louise?
I did.
All right, I can live with that.
And Louise is is Heidi.
Heidi in the back. There she
Here.
is. Sweet.
Louisa Shy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've the first time I tried feeding them, they didn't want to eat really well, but this afternoon they ate. And little Miss Thelma here is quite the little hunter. She'll actually get down in the sand and snick them up.
Yeah.
And then tonight, little Louise let me hand feed her.
Oh,
She
sweet.
ate right out of the syringe.
Good, good, good.
'Cause
Eating's always good.
She won't let go of that frilly little Gorgonian there.
Yeah. Well, good enough. She's found a place she feels secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've hitched on just about anything in here.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Nope. That'll be the talk of the stream tonight for the Horse Whisperer.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure. Nice, nice, nice.
They're
No,
best.
always good to see new stuff.
Yeah. Let me see if I could go this way. Maybe we can get a better look at her.
Oh, you're going to show them off more. I'm going to present. Hold on. Yeah, there we
Here
go.
we go.
Yeah, look at that, eh? They are so cool, but just
What? What do you mean?
oh, it's more work for me. It's not. Well, you never know. If I do the horses, maybe the wife will jump right in and want to do it more. Maybe. She's
Oh, now let me mute this here on the computer. There we go.
all right. So there we
Yeah, I
go.
like the fact that it's more work.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? You know, it's one of those things. Some people want it, some people don't.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't that I can't. It's just I don't want to. You know, I just don't right now. I may though, you know, but I think I don't like the tank sizes, and then all of a sudden it occurred to me, well, I could probably do Hippocampus erectus in a 20-gallon long. I have questions tonight. You know what I mean? So if I get in there tonight, I'm going to be the bane of her existence. That's what I'm going to be. You know.
I love these guys so far. I was scared enough to like pull them out of the bag because they warned me that they do a little vibration and then they sometimes make this noise.
Yeah.
And if they hadn't have told me ahead of time, and I would have reached into that bag to pull the seahorses out, they would have done that, and I'd have dropped the poor seahorse. So I was ready and prepared for that, and they did a little vibration. I didn't hear any noise, but when they're eating, you can hear them. It sounds like a knuckle cracking. It's really cool.
Okay. Apparently Rip's whacking a cat.
Oh, sorry, I'm feeding my fish. Sorry.
It's okay, Rip. I'm having fun with you, buddy. No, it was funny that I got a question for you. Now, was it Dan that told you? Did you drip? I didn't see you drip acclimate them at all. What was the theory behind that one?
was told to take them for acclimated.
Okay.
You don't want to drip acclimate them.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Yeah, right from the bag.
From the bag and put them right in the tank.
So as long as the parameters are close enough, it's not an issue kind of deal?
He didn't even have me test the parameters. He just told me to temperature acclimate and then take them from the bag and put them right in.
Cool. No, great. More questions. You know what I mean? Like I said, chances are...
why? What's the logic behind that?
Yeah, go ahead, Tina.
Mine's 1026, so...
Yeah, so what was that? Did Dan explain why?
Because of the ammonia buildup in the bag.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And they don't drip acclimate well. It's better to take them from the bag and put them into the tank.
Okay. Curious.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we got questions for him tonight. Definitely want to ask, and because what if you're well, I guess if everybody's close enough, and I've explained that to people before. How to explain this? Me and Nick have talked at length about that. That if you're shipping fish, I already told my guy when he took my fox face and my tang, I said when they get there, I said temp acclimate and stick them right the hell in the tank. Don't even bother. I said don't bother with that water, nothing.
You can't net them either.
No.
You have to take them out with your hands. You can't net them. And Al's right on there. The ammonia is very toxic. And so, yeah. You literally
we'd all understand that, yeah. Yeah, so, and that's exactly it. The minute you open the bag and the fresh O2 goes in, it spikes the pH, which makes the ammonia more toxic. Yeah.
So that's completely understandable as to the reason, because they don't have, they're built differently, obviously, than fish. And maybe some fish can be drip acclimated in that, but I don't even do that with my fish.
No, because when you ship a fish,
I pop and drop them.
You got it. Right? And remember what Cruz told you to do. Don't even screw around. Get them right in there. Get it aerated. Get it going right away. Why? And people don't understand that. My favorite was the guy in Moncton I love to fucking harp about. He puts a post up. And you ready for this? All you fish guys, you ready? These fish have been in shipping from Indonesia at the time for, 24 hours minimum? Minimum? Okay, and he's like, and then I drip acclimate them for 18 hours in the water they came in, and we're like, you're retarded.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, well, what do you mean? It's like, you realize
their fish.
You got it, right? I said, what's your loss rate? Right? Yeah. And he's like, I don't lose any. I said, well, I find that hard to believe. I said, because I know somebody told me that out of your last 24 fish you had come in, you lost 10. And he shut up and he disappeared. He didn't want to talk to me anymore, right? And it's like, if you think, buddy, in New Brunswick, small province, and I have this weird presence here for some reason. I got a big mouth, that's what it is. That I'm not going to hear about you having problems. Of course I'm going to hear about it. You're rude, you're arrogant, you're mean to people when they come in. Of course I'm going to hear about that. Now you got your dogs in the shop? Well, there's nothing wrong with that, except don't be mad at people if they open the door to come in and shop from you, and your dogs run out. Well, that's your problem. You didn't train your dogs. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's I try to explain to people, and I have people flare up in front of me when I say this, if you order your fish, JL Aquatics, all these ones that are West Coast and Ontario, I said, they're coming here, yeah? I said, they've already been in shipping for anywhere from 24 to 8 hours. Somewhere in that little mirror, depends on what you ordered and how they shipped it to you. I said, open the bag. I said, make sure to temp them, and then open the bag. Don't open it until you've temped them, and then drop them in. I said, it's safer. As long as you don't have weird salinity, so overly low or high. As long as you're somewhere 2.4 to 2.6, that is safer for the livestock. Coral don't really produce a lot of ammonia, so it's not the same issue. But yeah, when it comes to living, fish, vertebrates, you got to watch out. You know what I mean? So no, I was just wondering. Yep. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Craig. You guys all saw, well, most people, I'm not sure who are on here, you guys all saw what happened with my mimic tank. And that is a very good scenario as far as pop it and drop them. That fish came in upside down in its bag and was almost dead. And that's I think that aeration thing is the first time I've ever heard of that for a saltwater tank to begin with. It's when Cruz was like, you need to go buy an air stone and get it in there if you want that fish to live. And had I not done that, that mimic wouldn't be in that 75-gallon tank anymore. And who knows what that fish went through. Like you said, you don't know how long they're sitting at the holding facility. I mean, they may just come in and then just get bagged up and then be shipped to us. So who knows how long they've been in bags prior to that to begin with.
Correct.
So you don't know. I would rather take the chance on popping and dropping and medicating if need be than to try to acclimate them and lose the fish.
Exactly.
At that point, yeah.
Yep.
At that, like if he's almost suffocating, then yeah.
Yeah, he was outside. He had almost lost all of his water in the bag as well.
Yeah.
There was hardly any water in that bag. So, and now he's fat and happy. So, yeah, you got to be careful when the ammonia level in that bag. You can definitely smell it compared to the other bags that I opened.
Yep.
There's a definite smell to the ammonia or whatever you want to say.
Ammonia. It's ammonia. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and that's just it. There's so many misconceptions about dealing with fish. Like when I was there and, telling them how to deal with this algae problem in their tank, it was funny that, she was all about it, and this guy come out of nowhere, and it didn't really ruffle my feathers too bad, but he was very, well, how do you know that's the issue and all that? So I just went ding, ding, ding on my phone, held it up, and just watched him look at my tank. That's my tank. I said, do you see the same problem in my tank? I said, do you think that as a guy who has a tank that looks like this, I want to come in and see this? I said, I don't care. I said, from a perspective, the fish are fine. You can take them home. They're not going to bring that with them. I said, I wouldn't put the water in there, by the way. I said, just to be safe. I said, you got to look at it from a sales point of view. What is it that you should be looking for? I said, because if you think that's acceptable to look at in your tank, I said, I'll tell you this. If you go to buy coral and you got a tank that bad with algae, they're not going to make it. I said, I can almost guarantee it's not going to go very well for you. You might get lucky.
Craig, you're talking about the store?
Yeah, the store. Yeah.
If it's a store, they should be, look, I don't want to, say anything negative, but they should be masters at, unpacking fish and getting fish. Sure. Because they should be doing that basically every day, and they should know what the parameters of most probably they're not ordering from 15 different places. It's probably 2 or 3 for saltwater fish. So they should have a pretty good idea of what the water parameters, and they've probably been doing it for a while. So they should know the water parameters that the people that they're buying from is. So, they should know that this, for example, this supplier has, this salinity, and that supplier has that salinity. Or, they should know, for example, they should have a fairly good idea of what the parameters are of the fish that they're getting from that supplier. So, they should be prepared what I'm trying to say is it should never be a problem, because they should know how to act quickly and know what to expect.
And I would agree with that 9 times out of 10. But what I was saying, I guess, is, and you might have missed that, there was the pet store here, their tank just looks like hell. Right? They got one tank. It's a 32-gallon Oceanic now, the new BioCubes. And it just looks horrible. It's brown algae for days and the green starting. And I walked in and the owner come to me, I haven't been in a while. And she goes, do you know how to deal with that? And I said, I know absolutely how to deal with that. I said, you got a couple of problems here on the go. I said, one of them being you're using tap water, I'm going to guess. And she's like, yeah. And I went, okay, so the water here is full of silicates. I said, so you're just feeding that in the first place. I said, 2, I said, there's ways to get around it, but using distilled water is still going to have high TDS because it's just RO. I said, there's a lot of lessons to be learned here to clean that up. I said, but quick and dirty, you can do this. I said, and that involves doing this for a few days, lights out for a few days, you'll get it mostly cleaned up. I said, but then it's the aftercare, I said, that comes in here. I said, because if you keep repeating the same behavior, the same problem's going to come back. Right?
How does a store owner not know how to keep saltwater fish?
They don't. It's not a saltwater store. This is literally an experiment.
That's what my question was. They don't know how, so they don't know that they need RODI. They should have studied up on that a lot more before starting up a saltwater tank.
Well, what they were asking, these two folks that were trying to get the owner to do this, they can't allocate the money. The store's just new again, right? Okay. And it's had a bad reputation prior when it was a different name. Because, people buy fish and expect fish to just plop and drunk. We all know what happens with freshwater fish. You know what I mean? Like, most of them say, oh, yeah, you can buy 10 cardinals, put them in a, cardinal tetras, and put them in a 10-gallon tank, and just drop this stuff in. Everything will be fine, and it's not. You know what I mean? And we all know better, right? You should have a couple of fish, and so on and so forth. And she's starting to bring in the one that's running at some quality product.
I have a front.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
they should join the live stream.
Right, and that's what I said. Why don't you guys get in here and educate yourselves? I said, because I'll tell you, if you're going to deal with saltwater fish, if you don't want a bunch of us that to get snobby, I said, we're not getting snobby. It's just going to be you guys aren't listening. You're going to start killing fish. I said, you've got good prices on these fish. I said, there's nothing wrong. And they're babies. Boy, oh boy. I said, it's something to look at Darwin's. You look at my guys, they're 3.5 inches long. And to look at Darwin babies that are the size of my thumbnail. These are literally 62 days in that area. So they're coming from Sea and Farm, and she's only ordering 6 or 7 at a time, right? Oh, Seahorse Whisperer went live at now. All right. So, anybody else who's a Seahorse Whisperer fan, she's gone live. Yeah, and I want to get over there too. Like I said, I got some questions tonight.
You can shut it down and we'll jump over.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Does anybody need the link for that? Or Al, did you? That's that one. Raven, did you link it? I saw you put up a link too. There we go. So yeah, the Seahorse Whisperer is the name of the channel, folks. Join us over there. That's what we talk about, and we'll do that. And maybe I'll jump back on after, and we'll do another hour or so. All right, guys. Talk to you later, taters.
Okay, Craig. Yep.